What's up, everybody, and welcome to the WyOriginal podcast. This is our inaugural event to kick off. We've had a lot of, I won't say rough patches, but we had a lot of setup and a lot of effort to get to this moment.
Of the round table.
Of the WyOriginal round table.
Welcome to the WyO round table.
Let's get it popping.
Before we kick off, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. I am Jarrod Burton, originally from Texas, but a Wyoming transplant. Family's here. My wife is from here. My kids are raised here. So, you know, I'm a transplant WyOriginal.
I guess I might have to be a transplant too. Brooklyn, New York native, down here, kicking it with the fam, you know, getting it done. But I'm still WyOriginal, home away from home.
Right.
Angel Maldonado, let's just get that clear real quick so we already understand who I am. And what I do is keep them sharp, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm Johnny Campbell. I used to be a truck driver. I'm still lost.
What's up? I'm Dominic, Syracuse. Family's originally from New York, but
nice.
Born and raised here. So the reason we wanted to start this podcast is we're all in the witness protection program.
That's right.
All of us.
That's right.
No.
We decided to hide in Wyoming.
I am a
That's
witness that is happening though.
That's right. That's right.
I'm still
Let's
lost.
go. Let's go.
No,
No.
but the purpose of this podcast is we're going to be talking about everything that's going on in Wyoming.
Facts.
Everything from what's happening on top, what's happening underground,
Right.
what's the word in the news and all this stuff. So I'm excited to dive into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just wanted to have this avenue where we could, you know, we would talk, and there's so many things that came out and we're like, man, I didn't even know that was
Right.
happening. So, you know, this just hopefully helps get the word out, and spread some wealth to everyone. Everyone has a little bit more knowledge about what's going on. Not only in Cheyenne, I do want to make it clear we're hoping that this grows to, you know, Jackson, Lander, wherever. So,
Yes.
you know, if you have, as we kick off and we get our social media going, if you have some stories, some things you want us to cover, let us know.
And basically, we wanted to do dedication and service to our community. This platform is for our community. Wyoming, our platform to hear our voice from all counties, directly from the capital, and to make sure everybody's concerns, voice will be heard, get you here. If you have some thing to say, want to get some promotion for your businesses, want to highlight our youth. We want to dedicate time to our programs in our state and recognize the people who help us daily, our neighbors and, you know, our successors from our state. And, you know, get into all the other good stuff too,
That's
you know,
right.
sports and the remedies of everything.
Listen. My goal with this podcast is to go national.
Absolutely.
Facts.
So that people can actually know where Wyoming is. That's the whole goal. When I was in LA, I lived in LA for 8 years. Every time I'd be like, I'm from Wyoming. And they'd immediately go, oh, how is Montana?
Yeah.
Like,
Gotcha.
instantly.
Close.
Yeah, almost.
It's
Almost.
in the 50
I swear to God,
states.
one time I had a boss. Go, hey, so how is Montana, right? And then his wife immediately was like, he's from Utah.
everywhere but Wyoming. I do this with my boss like at least once a week. They'll go, oh yeah, we wish we had someone in that area. I'm like, I'm actually in that area.
Yeah, I'm in that area.
Oh,
Yeah.
you live there? Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, it's weird. It's been
For
6
me,
years.
I never really traveled out of New York. We always kept in New York. So when wifey said we was going to Wyoming, I mean, honestly, come on, man, you should know all your states, right?
Yep.
So I'm like confused now. I'm over here thinking we about to go out the country or something
truck
like
driver.
Wyoming.
Right.
I Google this place, and then I see the Bucking Horse,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
Not like just looking at it as a negative. I'm just like, oh, Wyoming.
Yeah.
So
right?
and it's just like nobody knows. So I guess this is a great way now.
This
Why
is a great
original
way.
could be the stamp of why
That's
you'll
right.
never be not understood no more.
So that's it. That's the thing is we want to let people know and also connect the community, like you said. You know what I love though about the show is that I think every state kind of has like a stereotype of what people think about
Right,
it. You know what I
right.
mean? Like you think about New York, you get this idea of New York. You think about Texas, you have the idea of Texas.
True.
But the coolest part about it is, I bet anybody watching this, even in Wyoming, would look at the four of us right here and not imagine that this is what Wyoming looks
Absolutely, absolutely. We're breaking down stereotypes. I love it.
Still lost.
And,
Me personally, I think we look good up here.
I know, I said.
I think this is a great set.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, broadcasting live from Presidential Barber Shop.
That's right.
Great.
The
That
best
is.
barber shop in town.
You know, we can really say that now. And the community gave us a lot of recognition to get that award this year.
That's right.
To be the best of the best. So I'm very thankful for that. You know, I had to take it like you can't get too wrapped up in popularity, right?
Right.
Because you create success.
Right.
And
Yes.
you're thankful. You know what I'm saying? You stay humble with it. But when the community actually spoke, it was nice. You know, like I will receive this. I will take this with a thank you. But we are the best of the best.
So tell me, what was the award? What y'all get?
So it was a huge contest for all entrepreneurs in the community, all businesses getting highlighted for who had the best services in their industries.
Wow.
So it was a challenge. It went down from, I guess, this final round to this final round, and then you got to the final round.
Nice.
And I was getting phone calls, and I'm like not really taking it serious at first because I'm like, wow, Wyoming's doing something like this. So I thought it was really great, but then they said you won.
Yep.
So I was like, I didn't win that.
I'm gonna have to give you some flowers real quick because I was so excited when you guys asked me to be a part of this podcast. And it's so much I think the reason that we jive so well is because we all have such a similar mindset. We're all creative, we're all entrepreneurial, we're all this stuff. But the funny thing to me was, like, Angel, when you were like, yeah, man, I want to start this podcast. you're like, it's going to be great because then it's like we can finally create something. And I'm sitting here in your barbershop looking around at all the stuff you've created.
That he created,
exactly. You know, you do this a lot. I don't know if you realize
He's been
it,
creating stuff for
but
years.
you're creating things all of the time, man.
You know what? I'm gonna take that humbly.
Absolutely.
Like seriously, I really am gonna take that humbly because when you're saying it like that right now, I'm actually looking. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're actually in the studio part of the barber
Exactly.
shop too. So this is the creative part of the shop
Exactly.
too,
That's what you create.
as well as the shop. But yeah, thank you for that. Like honestly, and it was great to ask you to come along because you know it really started with just me and Jarrod having these great conversations as I'm cutting his hair all the time.
Right.
And it's like podcasts, and it was like.
It's easy. We can make people watch us talk.
You
Right,
see, like
right,
we're
right.
doing it for a whole hour in the chair. So, damn,
we
that's
might as well record this.
Seriously.
You know?
There you go.
And then the name just came. We hadn't used WyOriginal in so long, but we had the community like acknowledging it, like, oh, I love those shirts and that, but we never really did nothing with it, right?
Right.
And then we're sitting there, and I'm like, we need another member.
Yep.
And instantly, the first person that came to my mind was you.
Absolutely.
Dominic,
I appreciate
Syracuse.
that.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
appreciate
that's the vibrant energy we need, and he is WyOriginal.
And exactly. You are the YO original in the
So let me give you your
original.
flowers
Oh,
back.
thank
All right?
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Since we're giving flowers, let's give them out.
While we're on Dom.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
While we're on Dom, and just to,
Stop it some more. Stop it some more.
just to go into our local news. So you just did I want to make sure I get it right. Unaccompanied Students Initiative.
Yeah, man.
And
Nice.
I followed that online. I
Yeah.
followed the craze, and it looked like it was a pretty big and powerful deal for the local community.
All right, check this out. So yes, we just did a stand-up show for the Unaccompanied Student Initiative. For those who don't know what the Unaccompanied Student Initiative is, it's a house. It's literally a duplex on the south side, and it's for teenagers specifically between the ages of 15 and 20 that find themselves experiencing homelessness.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, like, you know, as if being in high school isn't tough enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, as if that time isn't difficult enough.
Right.
Imagine not having somewhere to go after school, like not having a home, figuring out where you're going to stay. So the Unaccompanied Student Initiative created this place where these kids can just be able to have a home that they can go to with people who care about them, people who are getting them on the right track, that kind of thing. And so the best part was we did this, not only were we able to do a fundraiser and we did stand-up comedy It was amazing. We sold out Blue Federal Credit Union, but we were also able to give a scholarship to one of the students.
I love
Wow.
it. Okay.
Right?
See, that's what I'm talking
It was amazing. It was amazing. Now,
Round of
here's-
applause to that.
Yeah, well,
You gotta give
it
a
was
round
great.
of
It was
applause
great.
to that.
Now here's the best part. Here's the best part. We did raise like $10,000 for him.
Okay.
On top of that, but the wild thing was that we set this whole thing up at Blue, right?
Right.
We had this VIP. Cheyenne's own Brant Tobler, who's a stand-up comedian who's now gone on to be on Comedy Central and ESPN and all this stuff. He came and did the show. We set it all up, man.
Shout out to Brant.
It was great. It was great. Now here was the thing though, is that I did all this work setting the whole thing up as far as like I was there for 6 hours that day just setting up the chairs to make sure that the chairs were good. And on top of that, when they first came to me, they were like, hey, we got to put on this event, but we don't know that we're going to make any money because everything's so expensive.
Right,
stages are expensive, lights expensive.
True.
And this is the thing about being in Wyoming in our local community. I was like, wait, how much do they charge you for a stage? How much do they charge you? Hold on. I got a buddy named John. He's got a stage in his garage.
Let me make a phone call.
Yeah, also, I got my buddy, also shout out to First Amendment Sound Productions, Chris Robars and John Poles, because Chris is like the sickest sound guy in the world, like with sound, but he's got a full-time job, so sound is just his passion, his hobby.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
a great guy. He came to the shop.
right? He was like, yo, I'll just come do it for you.
Andrew knows everybody too.
I know.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
but
no.
Yeah, he is a great guy because he gave me his card. He's like, you need help, we got your back, we got you. So
Dope,
yeah,
dope,
definitely.
right.
Dope.
He does have a job and he does not mind helping the
I love it.
community
I love
at
it.
all. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Chris. He just wants to help the community. And the cool thing is thanks to Chris and John Poles, we were able to double the profits.
So you actually were able to make something that you could
Exactly,
give to.
because
that's
they
beautiful.
gave
I love
us
it.
such a deal on that. But here's the funny part. So I set up this stage, we set up this stuff, we're good to go. Then all these people come in, the show's sold out. We had these great sponsors, R&B Breakfast Club, Jonah Bank,
Love it.
Blue, DeSelms, Fine Art, Pete's Builders. They all sponsor.
Shout out to Chad.
Chad, right?
Peace
Those
builders.
everybody.
But now here's the thing, is that then people come in and it's sold out and I'm like, yes, victory, we did it. And then I went, oh shit, I still have to perform.
I still got to do some stuff.
Oh no. I'm like, man, we hyped up and made this very beautiful arrangement for what is about to be a very average performance on my part. Because I'm not ready for it. And then here's the funniest part is I'm walking around and I'm trying to get feedback from like the crowd, hey, what's up? And I'm trying to get hyped up to get on stage. And this guy goes like this. He goes, oh, hey, I saw you at this other gig. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, and he goes, are you doing the same material? And I was like, no, I'm doing some new stuff. He goes, oh, okay. Is it a little better than last time?
Yikes.
Whoa.
I was like, and I go like this. I go, wow, was it really that bad? And without even blinking, he goes, yeah.
Honestly, I love honesty, I guess.
I'm like, all right. Well, let
Thank
me
you.
go.
How old was he?
Oh,
You usually expect that from the youngest kids.
no, you're right. You
Older
would
people don't have a
Yes.
problem telling you exactly how they feel.
you would expect
But that's good
this.
though. I mean, what is it called? Constructive criticism.
Construct,
right?
yes. So
Constructive.
I always want to learn something from it. So
Facts.
what I learned from that is that I need to suck less.
There you go. That's and then you can apply that to anything.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Anyway,
Yeah.
No.
But yo,
Hey.
shout out to that. And shout out
Amazing
to
event.
WyOriginal. See, that's a WyOriginal moment.
that is a wild.
It is.
It honestly is, because you're talking about the community coming together. WyOriginal candidates
Yes.
making sure that this is possible.
Yes.
So once again, like back to highlight why this platform is important,
Absolutely.
and why we'll keep shouting out to all the WyOriginals out there to keep making things possible.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's what this is about. So here's another way for our platform,
Yep.
our platform, to keep on highlighting each other to build this community that's a family.
Right.
And that's what happened that day.
It's just it's so much. Like honestly, if I don't get on Facebook, like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know he was doing stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't know.
Right.
Like I know, like I see
Right.
all your comedy stuff all
Right,
the time. You know, and I see all the shows that pop up. You know, and like the Lincoln's gotten really good
Yes.
at promoting their shows and all their awesome shows. You know, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But like I guess that's my point. Like I know that how many people you think showed up to that event?
Oh, 300 sold out.
You know,
the capacity
nice.
was 300. We had 300. It was amazing.
And
Oh,
I just
nice.
I guarantee you, and of course I don't know how many people actually listen to this episode, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people who will be like, man, I did not know that.
I didn't know that happened.
I didn't know that was going on. I would have loved to be in a part of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
And I know we got a script to follow, but we can't go around the wild round table without talking about Mr. Jarrod over here.
Whoo.
This dude, first of all, I met this dude because we were doing an event together
That's right.
for the Boys and Girls Club,
That's right.
Dancing with the Stars.
Dance with the Stars.
Okay. Now I was wearing this sparkly red tuxedo.
Beautiful tuxedo.
Yeah,
by the way.
I looked like if Joe Pesci was auditioning for Sister Act. All right, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But then,
I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but
I thought I was the best dressed until Jarrod comes up there with Michelle Dehoff from
Michelle
Joan Bang,
Dehoff.
right?
Big love to Michelle.
And
Absolutely.
they are wearing pure gold.
We
I
did.
mean, gold
We-
jackets,
I wouldn't
MC
expect nothing
Hammer.
less though. It's
gold
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah, I don't expect nothing less.
And if you haven't seen this dude dance right here, he tore that stage up. The footwork that y'all did, I still remember that.
But I got second, just so we're clear. I didn't, me and Michelle did not win. We got second. But no, shout out to the act that won first. It was, it was a lot of acrobatics and flipping, which my old body was not going to let me do that.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful night. We broke records that night.
Big time. Big time.
We gained a lot of money for the Boys and Girls Club. It was
Nice.
a huge event.
Over $80,000.
Absolutely.
Over $80,000.
And this year, just to talk about the Boys and Girls Club a little more and Dance with the Stars, this year they broke that record.
No way.
They broke that record. It was
Wow.
over, I want to say, 120K.
That's
Really?
amazing.
And
Wow.
majority of that came from one person. One
No
person
way.
brought it. And I'm hoping, because Michelle, when we finished last year, the first year, she kind of challenged everybody, like, beat this.
Yeah.
And they took that personally. Like what
Yeah,
like Michael Jordan
really.
said, and I took that personally.
Yeah, I took that.
So they came in hot. They raised a lot of money. It was a beautiful event, and I'm glad they asked. I'm glad to be a part of it. It's one of those things. It's me and my wife joke about it all the time. She was like, there's something to say to be a male dancer in Wyoming. It's like three of us in the whole state. So opportunities come, but hopefully we can just make the best of those opportunities. So
That's
No,
it.
that's great, man. That is
But-
very great. But
Yes.
he's always been dancing,
He's
singing.
tearing it up.
always.
He's a triple threat in my opinion.
Well, and you just got back from a dance competition, right?
Yeah. So I also work at Act 2 Studios, and so we do competitions all over Colorado, and then I work with some of the dance teams locals for like the high school. So state. The Wyoming State Cheer and Spirit was on Wednesday, the 8th,
Sick.
and that was absolutely amazing. I think Star Valley, which I'll be honest with you, I don't know where Star Valley is. So, still to this day.
Yeah.
So if you got some Star Valley people in to watch this, let us know where you are, because I have no clue. I don't know. But Star Valley came through and they smashed hip hop, jazz, cheer. They were amazing.
Nice.
South High School from Cheyenne took game day first at game day.
Nice.
So it was just
Shout
a
out
beautiful
to
event,
South.
man.
That's sick.
It's a good event. It's one of those things that you try to. Again, I try to let people know that hey, we do have a dance community here.
That's right.
So.
Well, and that's okay. Real quick, this is the last thing we'll say before we get to the actual script. But this is why I love Wyoming, and here's what I mean is that the big stereotype, the thing that people complain about, like if you're like me, and you grew up here, people talk about there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do. But here's what I found out. When I went out to LA, I thought LA was going to be like this mecca of hyper talented people.
Right.
But what I found out was when I went there, I was surprised. No offense to my LA friends, because there's some really amazing people out there. But as a majority, I found out, I was like, man, I got so many friends who are so unbelievably talented. And they don't just do one thing. They act, they sing, they dance, they record, they produce, they have this, they do that. They have all these skills. And I realized, it's because it snows 9 months out of the year
Exactly.
here. So
is
what
a
you
fact.
do is you either get a hobby or a drug problem. That's your choices.
It's tough.
Liquor store.
It's
You buy a liquor store.
it's tough. I mean, when you're highlighting that,
Can I say something, Sean?
it is true. Yeah.
Hit it.
Hold on, John.
Now, this fun about Wyoming to me. Most people that's living in Wyoming, they never lived. They was born in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. Right. They all. So many people are like Wyoming local.
True. Very true.
This is
Big
what it
old
is.
bowl
This is
of
where
all
we're at.
that.
You know what I mean?
Gumbo.
Yeah.
You know? I love that.
What about gumbo? I like gumbo.
I like gumbo. No, honestly, I think that is it. And yeah, I mean, there isn't much to do, but now if we can help with that, right?
And that's the purpose of this. So for those of you who are watching now and are going to continue watching forward, we're going to start having all the local musicians who you might have never heard about, all the local entertainers. I mean, we'll have them on the show, but there are nationally recognized poets that are right here in Cheyenne.
That's a fact.
Some of the best magicians I know is one of my neighbors, like around the corner from me. There are some unbelievably talented people, and that's the purpose of this, is to showcase that.
And since we highlighted that for a second, we will start taking submissions to bring back Funeral Friday.
Funeral Friday.
Yes.
As that was an amazing 3-season episode.
It was a hit.
And
it was a hit.
we're going to start taking submissions, so you could definitely check our contact boxes.
Absolutely.
Start sending submissions, and we're going to start highlighting our artists again.
So that's for anybody watching. If you are a musician, if you are an artist of any kind and you want to showcase it, that's what this is for.
Absolutely.
This is for you to come on and we can showcase that.
And that goes perfectly hand in hand with, what the Lincolns doing. They have their local showcases. They have I don't want to call it a mini series, but I think that's what they called it.
They had it last night. It was
the Lincoln Showcase series.
Love it.
And just local artists, you can come. And again, I love that all of the communities coming together. I've been here since, I think, on and off since 2008. I was military. That's how I got here. Same thing with Angel and his wife. Yeah. But when I first got here, man, they didn't have things like that. You would just go to a house party and there's a dude rapping in the basement. And then, that's how you find out about the local talent,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, look, like first of all, the Lincoln is when I walked into Lincoln, when I came back from LA, I cried. I really did, because it's so beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I used to have to go to Denver to see something that beautiful.
Yeah.
Shout out to John and Renee.
Yeah, John and Renee.
Knows everybody.
But here's the thing. I know. No, you want to know the truth? You want to know how beautiful?
They're good people, though.
You want to know how beautiful the Lincoln is? We were able to bring in Bob Saget on the last tour.
That's
before
right.
his
Yeah.
death. On the tour he died on.
Yeah.
We were able to bring him through.
That's morbid, but okay.
No, it's true. But the second he saw the Lincoln, I'll never forget, he looks at it and he goes, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Man, this place is beautiful." And then his wife called him and he goes, he goes, "Honey, I hope you feel like having sex tonight."
It's really fired it up tonight, man.
Let's go.
No, they did a good job. It's a beautiful, and I love that it's still historical. Because sometimes you try to bring stuff back and it just takes away from what it used to be. I'm glad that it still has the historical vibe and it still feels like the old theater.
Yes.
So
which is a Wyoming way of saying it's haunted as fuck.
That's right.
It's so haunted.
All of downtown is.
All of downtown is. The base is haunted. When I first got here, everybody was telling me stories. When I was on base, I was living in a hotel, until I got my house, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got to be careful. It's ghosts. It's ghosts. It's ghosts. It's ghosts." And I personally don't believe in ghosts.
Right.
But everybody's telling me these stories, so here I am. I'm in my room, I'm just tapping on my computer, and I hear this. I was like, "What is?" I'm hearing this all night, and I'm panicking. Literally, I got no sleep. I'm fully panicking. Believed in ghosts for 2 days while I lived in this hotel, but. No, but still though. No, Lincoln, beautiful place. I don't know if it's haunted or not. If it is, I'm sure they got, good vibes. I couldn't think of a better place.
Bro.
They got the Ghostbusters in it. No, it's great. It's great.
John
will be the first person to show you. They show this picture of him in the mirror, and there's this face behind him. He loves showing everybody that picture. It's terrifying. No, you don't want to see it. You won't sleep. You will not sleep, man.
Do you think they tell the artists before they come that, hey, this might
Well, okay, speaking of morbid, here's what's messed up. So we had Bob. Right. And Bob was great. Listen, everything that you've heard about Bob Saget is true.
Amazing.
He spent the whole time in the green room talking to his daughters on the phone.
Awesome.
Wow.
And then so it was really heartbreaking when he passed away, right? Yeah. And then the next person that we were booking to bring through was Gilbert Gottfried. But then he couldn't come because he died. Right? So
yeah.
now when I call the Lincoln and I'm like, hey, I might have a show, they go, great, what comic legend are you going to kill?
Who are you
this
trying
week?"
Get somebody younger.
Yeah. They're saying. But speaking of Lincoln, are we going to talk about Cube
Ice Cube
is coming?
I was just gonna start filling into that. Like, I think that's huge.
It's
Ice Cube, are you kidding me?
See,
For
people,
that venue.
people come to Wyoming. See,
Yeah.
Huge. So that whatever effort, which I know it was a good effort because it's happening.
Yeah.
Cube will be in Wyoming. So he'll hit the stage and everybody gets a chance for him to say, "What up, Cheyenne, Wyoming?"
That is good.
he might forget, but like, "What's up, Chicago?"
Yeah.
Chicago Ice.
What's up?
But now Cube knows about Wyoming.
It's just like when I saw that, I was like,
That's huge. You
And
got
this is
to
a
shout out to
smaller
Matter of fact, let's give a round of applause.
Yeah.
for that.
Applause for Ice
Shout out
Yeah.
for bringing Ice Cube.
Absolutely.
that's huge.
Friday.
And this is
Friday.
this is a small.
We have to introduce Johnny the Cube. Can we make that happen? How do we
Yeah,
get you
John
in?
Renee, if at all possible, we could get Johnny
Don't make it on Friday.
to
We do
get
Saturday.
introduced to Cube. That'd be our highlight.
Absolutely.
No, but seriously, I think it's great. Pros and cons to the situation. I do think Cube is a huge name for the venue
Yes.
because the capacity is what 1,200, right?
Yeah.
1,200.
Concert.
The tickets aren't cheap, but they are affordable.
Yeah.
And
And
worth
for history in Wyoming.
That's what I mean.
But at the end of the day, I just want it to be a great event because this is another reason for like a huge artist like this to know he came and to tell others.
Oh,
Absolutely.
You know
That's
what
it.
I mean?
You got
Absolutely.
this is a spot. Like, look, when I was booking comedy through here, the pandemic helped us out a lot because we were like the only state that was open in like 5 states. So they would have never come through Wyoming. In fact, I was talking to this comedy booker and he was like, I take a black marker and I just black out Wyoming because they thought nobody'd be interested.
Right.
But that's not the case. The
Not the
case
case
is,
at all.
one, there wasn't a place to play. Now there is.
Now there's a
we
venue.
got the Lincoln. Now we
Yep.
got that.
That's a fact.
Also, they were like, we didn't know if people want to show up, but what people don't get is because these acts are few and far between.
Yeah.
Then an act will have as big of a turnout on a Tuesday
Absolutely.
in Cheyenne that they would on a Friday or a Saturday
Absolutely.
in a big place like
That is a fact. That is-
LA, New York, whatever.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
And so that's that. I think they're finally seeing that now, and so now you got Ice Cube, Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Yep. Soldier
Hop
Boy, which
up
I
out
think
my
would be
bed.
dope.
Hop up out my bed.
Yeah.
Get my swag on. Let me get my swag on.
And I just think it's dope because even I know we say artists won't. We think that artists think that no one wants to see them here, but honestly, a lot of people here is like when I first saw Ice Cube and then Soldier Boy, I was like, man, they want to come here.
Right,
But
right.
it's worth it. And I know it's a small venue, but it's worth it because we know, like you said, I know that people will fill that place out.
Oh, yeah.
I know people will want to see Ice Cube and Social Boy.
And
No doubt in my mind.
and also the energy that's going to be brought with that.
100%.
Just the excitement
Absolutely.
and enthusiasm. You know what I mean? Like
Is it
that.
sold out?
I think last I
tickets were
heard there was like 10 tickets.
I think the Ice Cube.
I
one
mean,
is
look
close
at
to
that. I mean,
yeah.
just going back to what you say on any day, right?
Literally.
Any given day.
Literally.
We're here.
Yes.
We just don't have the availability.
Yeah.
Right.
And shout out to the Lincoln for bringing that and making that possible. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
now we don't have an excuse for why we don't support or why we're not doing certain things.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I think that's a great thing. Like, I know when everyone saw that promotion hit, everyone was like, in Wyoming?
Right.
See,
right,
we go
right.
back to that, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, we do things.
That's right.
We have CFD.
Yo.
Are you kidding me?
Y'all have music there. I
One of
didn't
the
know that.
biggest pocketbooks for
We
the
have-
rodeo.
Yeah.
With amazing acts that come anyway. But it's when you see that, right?
Right.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's like, wow. So here comes the culture, right? This is the culture that everyone says is not available in Wyoming.
But
Yes.
see, local people. It's funny, and I say local loosely because Colorado people know what CFD is. I
That's a
didn't know what
fact.
CFD was
Neither
until
did
I
I.
moved here.
Right.
And even I talk to my family and friends, and I'm like, and to say that it's the biggest outdoor rodeo in the world, and people don't know what it is. You know?
Right.
So
I
even
didn't.
so, I know we got CFD, and I know we get all these big country music acts that come, and they know, what CFD is, and they know
Yeah.
what Wyoming is, but like Jason Derulo was here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure
Flow
Jason
Rider.
Derulo didn't know what that. He didn't know
Flow
what
Rider.
Flow Rider. I'm sure he didn't know what CFD was. You know,
Nelly.
but now we're getting
Yeah.
out there.
Yes.
You know, the names getting out. Hopefully,
Well,
we can get these better acts.
And
you know?
here's why I'm proud to be a part of this, and here's why I'm liking the way things are going in Cheyenne is because, look, for the longest time, those in charge, right,
Yeah.
were like this older crew, the people who love cowboy culture, which that's what this town is based off of, and that's cool, right?
Exactly. Yep.
But our generation is now getting the baton.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Look,
we have
Colorado.
We're
Great way to
raising
put
up.
that.
We're adults now, as much as I don't feel like one.
Or don't want to be.
Yeah, or
you
don't
know?
want to be. You
Not
know,
yet.
like
Yeah.
I'm an adult. I scheduled a
Yes,
dentist
sir.
appointment
Right.
for myself. I'm grown.
There you go.
So I'm like, so that's the thing is now we're getting the baton and we're able to say, all right, here's what we're gonna do
Right.
with the city
Right.
now that it's ours.
Absolutely.
or now that we have
I
a
agree
seat at
with
the
that.
table.
Right.
I really agree
And
with
that's
that.
why we're getting the Ice Cubes and
The Soulja
the
Boys.
You know-
Soulja Boys and Nellies and stuff like
Jason
that.
Derulo.
I'm gonna be honest.
Snoop Frog and all of them.
You got to give credit where credit is due. I know when I first came here, since we're on the topic of promotions and artists and culture and music, I remember when we came out here, and Presidential didn't just have a presentation with haircuts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Presidential had a platform for voice, creativity,
Yes.
as we were saying earlier. And I remember doing my first show, and I was going through every hula hoop through a Cheerio to make it possible. You know what I'm saying?
Johnny's face.
Every
You see
single
Johnny's
one,
face?
bro.
He's
Every
imagining
single one.
that. He's
And-
going,
And I
I
was
know
just,
about that.
I was just like, how does this get done? Like, it's like I get more no's than yeses. Like,
Right.
they don't
Yes.
believe this can be possible.
yes.
And we brought Corey Guns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At
That's
the
right, that's
Atlas Theater. And I think people took so many chances on
Yes.
us, not believing in us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was one of the most highest paid tickets they ever had.
Yes.
Sold out.
Yes.
The bar did over and amazing.
Right.
The compliments were just like, wow, this crowd is amazing. People have been drinking. People having a
Yeah.
great time.
And that's all it was,
It's
just
well
people having
put
a good time,
together.
Yes.
And we
gotta
kept,
plug
we
in.
didn't stop. We kept going.
Yes.
We even had
Yes.
Mozzie out here before Mozzie even had a chance to, be on the
blow.
very,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
top yet. When he was already on top. Shout out to Mozzie, right?
Right.
Giving us a chance. And all this was still Presidential making a presentation like, yo, there's culture out here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And shout out to my guy, Dropo Bandito, because he was one of the biggest reasons why a lot of things were happening on that side of the platform
Yeah.
for Presidential.
Yeah.
But I would like to give Presidential some credit for breaking some of those barriers
Yes.
to show that we can have a good time.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
hip hop in itself is acceptable on all platforms.
Absolutely.
Wyoming, take notice.
And real quick, this is actually a perfect time to shout out to one of our sponsors, right?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton Bird.
My guy.
Blue
Shout
Pig
out, baby.
Presents. He's known for bringing all the acts into Cheyenne.
Absolutely.
And that was, even before the Lincoln, right? He was doing huge things. And this is, was my first run-in with Presidential?
Yes.
I used to be radio DJ
Right.
at 93.7 KZ. This was lit 15 years ago, right? I was radio DJ over there, and Ham had brought in Afro Man.
Oh my God.
You remember this? And,
Yes.
and
We were
this
just talking about it. in the chair the other
yes.
day.
So Ham brought in Afro Man, and the thing was he had come in, and this was when Presidential was tied to Tribe Zoo.
Oh, that's
First
right.
Tattoo
That's right.
barbershop in Cheyenne.
That's
Wyoming.
right.
Remember that.
Let's
Yeah, yeah,
highlight
yeah.
that because that was
Shout
a
out to
very
Tribe.
big
Yes.
moment. Shout out to Tribe.
Child of
Yeah.
Tribe, because it was Tribe was connected to Presidential, right?
Yep.
And
And we were connected to them.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
That's
That's right. President was connected to them.
Yeah.
And then and Afro Man came and signed autographs
Yes, sir.
in
Yes,
that room.
sir.
And here's the best part about it is that now my son's getting older. He's 12 years old,
Yeah.
right? And my son, for some reason, has fallen in love with 90s hip
I
hop.
love
That's
it.
his favorite kind of music in the
Amazing.
world.
I love it.
He loved like Outkast,
Kid got
all-
taste. I like
yeah,
it.
I know. Like,
Shout out to
NWA,
your son.
Right.
He loves it. He loves it. And so the funny thing is that is he turns on this thing. He's like, Dad, I just found this song and it's hilarious. And I'm like, what do you got? and he puts on, Colt 45.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, he puts that on, he's loving it. And I go, it was like this cool moment where like, because you gotta understand, my son has come with me since he was 2 years old to movie auditions, band practices. Yeah. It's just dad's job to him. He's very disillusioned by any kind of entertainment. He wants to be a scientist. He does not care about, the entertainment world, because that's dad's job. So it's boring to him.
It's not cool anymore.
But when he was like, I love this. And I'm like, that's Afro Man. I was able to open up my phone and pull out a picture of me, Afro Man, and him when he was 6 months old.
Wow.
At Presidential Tribe Zoo Tattoo. At that.
And that's what I want to get back to, because we were opening those doors. We were trying to tear down those whatever's were up that weren't being like accepted. Like we didn't have this chance, right?
Yes.
But I do want to go back to saying shout out to Jake, because I was looking up to him and he was 18 at the time, 18, 19 years old.
Right.
And brought strange music artists.
Yes.
Tech Nine.
Tech Nine, I do remember that.
Tech Nine, and then you had Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep.
Yes.
And this guy was going, I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm looking at him like, this is what I want to do as well.
Right.
But I see him like, oh, you taking those chances too.
You got
That's
and
right.
like, shout out to him, because the amount of work he's done, I've looked up to him and I was like, well, shoot, if he's getting it done, we're going to get it done too.
Absolutely.
Because I see somebody else has the energy out, and he's took it to so many crazy levels. Shout out to Hamilton.
Never
for real,
afraid to take risks, never afraid to even like at his own expense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, and that's what I'm saying.
Because that's the thing, is that, he when he was doing Tech Nine, when he was doing all these shows, I mean, he was risking his own money, his own everything. And let's not forget, this is something people don't know about Ham, and he's probably going to get mad at me for saying this out loud. Ham is a good decade younger than us.
Yeah.
So like when Ham brought Afro Man, he was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like so, he was like in high school.
That's how I
Max.
remember. So that was 17. So
that's it.
Yeah, see, so he was young guy. And I was looking up to him at that time, because I had just got here. I'm getting my feet wet.
Right.
And I'm just like, wow, like, he's doing this?
Absolutely.
Who's his backing? I'm looking at this guy, who's him?
And you know what? I got to say this. I owe him so much. Not just because, of all the stuff. I mean, he was instrumental in getting me that gig in the radio station back in the day.
Oh, nice.
And then I went off to LA. I came back and we sold out 2 shows at the Atlas Theater. I did an hour-long stand-up special. Ham produced the whole thing. Wow. Ham was at the Stanley Hotel. He got me that gig. I got to host.
Love it.
I got to host the Halloween ball and the New Year's Eve thing this year. Beautiful. Because of him. So and then he comes in and wants to sponsor this podcast.
Yeah.
Because he's that kind of guy. He's
our
the kind of
first sponsor.
He's the kind of dude
I gotta
who
highlight
takes
him,
care
man.
of his friends.
And I'm gonna just keep it real. Like when he heard what we were doing, he was like, "Wow, that's amazing! I love it." And you know what? I want to be. You got any sponsors? I'm like, actually, we don't. We're just trying to get it off the ground. Actually, we don't try to do things. We actually do
excuse
things.
Me.
But
Yet.
Like you said,
so
in.
when he said, "Look, how does this sound to you?" And I'm like, it sounds great. Like, thank you. And you will be recognized as our first sponsor, and encouraging more sponsors to know, let's get this off the ground. Let's keep our community active. Let's keep on highlighting what's important in our community as a state. And let's keep on rolling.
Let people know
shout out to Hamilton,
more.
seriously.
Thank
you so much.
Big up.
And everything you've done for WyOriginal.
Absolutely.
Not just the show.
No, it's and again, and this is that part of the podcast where I do want to go into some more, like, maybe not well-known local stuff, like, for instance, Jeremy Ware. So Jeremy Ware is an East High School graduate.
Okay.
He set a Guinness World Record for the longest backwards basketball shot. This was, I think, last week or something.
What?
Wow. So this is a Cheyenne native graduate of East High School. In the Guinness World Record, that's huge.
Are you serious?
And I want people to know that.
Wait. What is his name again?
His name is Jeremy Wares.
Jeremy Wares.
East High School
Jeremy
graduate.
Wares, East High School grad.
Shout out to
Jeremy Wares. Shout out to Jeremy Wares.
I think I just watched that on like YouTube Shorts or something, or Instagram.
It might have been.
I think literally he was like, I'm
setting the world record for longest behind the back shot
Absolutely.
or whatever.
Wow.
I had no idea that dude was
Absolutely.
a Cheyenne
Wyoming.
local.
Wyoming
Original.
on the map, and it's just like stuff like that, little stuff like that. We got the robotics team. It's a Cheyenne robotics team. They're going to they got nominated for a national award. They'll be competing on the national level.
No shit.
There's big stuff going on, and even maybe not well known things going on, but it's huge. And I just want to shout out those people. Tell them congratulations, bringing the spotlight to Cheyenne, to Wyoming, because
Yes.
again, this is a Wyoming podcast, not just Cheyenne. I know we talk about a lot of Cheyenne stuff so far, but
We are the capital, though.
That's right.
But
Coach, rewind this. He shot backwards.
a backwards shot over 80 feet, 80 foot backwards. I think it was 80 feet,
Was
6
he
inches.
lost?
Lost in the net. He made it. That's how he set the record. He made it.
Guinness Book of
Guinness
World
Guinness
World
Book
Records.
of World Records. Take that, Steph Curry.
And I think the longest
Oh.
one before that was like a Harlem's Globetrotter.
Come join
or
us.
something like that.
Yeah.
He took a Harlem Globetrotters record out of the Guinness World Records book.
He also took someone off of a spot.
Yeah, so it was, and they didn't say the name in the article, but it was you said it was a Harlem Globetrotter that said it,
Wow.
and so this was
Shout
something
out
that
to
he
Jeremy
wanted to do,
Wares.
which
That's
is
amazing.
weird. I don't know where you get the, like, man, you know what? I want to set a Guinness World Record today. That's
That's right. That's right.
I wanna
That's
do.
right. You know what? I bet I could give him a run for his money in that I don't think I could make the longest backward shot, but I think I could set the record for most attempts at an 80-foot backward
I think
shot.
so.
They're like, yo, Dom's been in the gym for 4 months.
Like, how many has he
Just,
made?
nah, come on! Yeah!
Yo, that's actually great that you highlighted that, man. And that's what we're
cool.
talking about. That's what we want to do for WyOriginal.
Absolutely. It's I know that most, like we talked about, most of the big names that happen here all kind of follow CFD, and
Right.
And we know the people in Wyoming are, especially in Cheyenne, Colorado, CFD is like the biggest weekend of our community. I think
Right.
I saw somewhere like 30% of our GDP comes from
Yep.
just that one
10 days.
that 10 days
Amazing
stretch.
10 days,
30% of our
at
money
that.
comes from that.
That's right. In
You
the
know, so
whole,
it's huge.
like there are businesses who run their entire financial year off of those 10
just
days.
off of those 10 days.
And it's huge. You can't blame
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
All of the trying to get a restaurant, trying to get into like a reservation or something,
Yeah.
But which is why we need more, we
Right.
need more. And you can tell my wife, I don't know if I'm a fatty or not, but if you bring up food in Wyoming, I will start yelling every single time. Every
Yeah.
single time. I'll
Yeah.
fight you for it. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's an argument, a soapbox that I will stand on, and I will talk about food in Cheyenne. So local leaders, if you're listening, give us some more restaurants.
That's right.
And I love the Met, and I love.
There's some really good ones.
There's some really good ones.
Shout out to my favorite R&B. R&B does so much for the community on top of just having the best breakfast in town. And the cool thing about R&B is that they're local. I mean, that is a WyOriginal, Cheyenne original.
That's a true mom and pop.
That's a
Absolutely.
true yes. Shout out to Val Martin who owns it, and Val anytime you ask for, anytime I've ever needed anything, speaking of like the USI thing or whatever, you go, hey, we're doing this thing, and she's like, if it's Cheyenne, I'm here to help.
There you go. I love it.
And that's it. And the thing is, they're so packed. I've tried to like give back. There are times I'm like, hey, how about y'all set up like a burrito thing at this event, and then you guys can do. And she's like, listen, we are so slammed all of the time.
We don't need it.
Like
I don't
we
know
are
when they're
so
not busy.
Oh my gosh.
Like, seriously, there's a line outside that door every time.
all the
every time I drive by,
time.
I'm like, a line?
in Wyoming.
It's nice. That's actually no. It's
And
actually
it's cool
nice.
as hell
It's
inside
actually
too.
nice.
If you go
Yeah,
inside,
yeah.
they got like all the Elvis memorabilia
Oh, man.
everywhere and Marilyn Monroe over
I love
stuff.
it. I love it.
It's like taking a little trip back into the past while you're eating your
Yes,
breakfast.
it's like like you're going into the 1950s. You feel like Back
Feels
to the
good.
Future.
And there's a lot of that vibe in Wyoming, but in like a good way.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Like we go like we just talked about, we go to Denver for the competitions, and it's just overwhelming sometimes. I'm just like, my goodness, man. Like it's too many people. There's traffic everywhere. There's hobos fighting birds. I kid you not. I saw a hobo fighting a bird. This is not a joke. I'm dead serious. A hobo fighting a bird right next to Colorado University. It's ridiculous.
Who won though?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The bird.
Those
seemed
birds
pretty
can be
serious.
vicious.
He was right into it. I don't know.
I'm telling you.
But speaking back to restaurants though, Doghouse is closing.
Oh
Doghouse
man,
is
I did hear
closing,
about that.
man.
I think it's 3 years. I think it's been open for about 3 years.
And I also heard a rumor that Cruising Through
Is what?
is no more.
Really?
That's
After
the
they
rumor.
came back-
I always wonder, why or what causes like these big, these big businesses to like open and then close so quickly. We are getting a Wingstop though.
Oh, really?
There's a Wingstop
yeah.
next to King Supers right off of
all right.
right off of Del Rey. So we are getting a Wingstop.
My personal opinion is that
I got you.
Cheyenne is a young family town.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, I know all of us, we're all similar, right? We all got like a handful of kids,
Yep.
right? We're all family people. And so I don't know about y'all, but like going out to eat is like maybe once, maybe twice a month thing.
True.
For
No,
us,
no,
you know,
that's fact.
and so if
That's
it's like
that
if
does
we
make
don't feel
sense.
like cooking, it's just so much easier to pop over to McDonald's real quick.
That's true. Which
And
we
that's
have
what the
17
kids
of
want
those.
anyway, right? and that's the problem. See, that's the problem. Like in my in my house is that I got 3 kids who I could take them to like Gordon Ramsay's 5-star hotel, and they'll be like, "Do you have chicken fingers?"
some
Like
chicken
they,
nuggets.
yeah. Like they don't even
That's
don't
my
even care. We were in Laramie, and there's that really great Mexican spot off the highway there, and we stopped, and I'm not making this up. Out of this amazing menu of like authentic Mexican food, they ordered quesadillas, right, with just the
Right.
tortilla and cheese. But the thing was, it came back and they had like one string, like a blade of Easter grass worth of lettuce, and they were like. You would have thought someone tried to poison their food. They were sitting there like, no. So I'm not eating that. So you want to know the truth? You want to know the real answer why we can't have restaurants? My kids,
just Dom's kids
my
alone.
kids
Vegetables.
have ruined it for all of Cheyenne. But I'll tell you what, I want a piece of McDonald's stock.
Oh, McDonald's is
Yeah.
boom.
Because I feel like I've done more for you, McDonald's.
Seriously, same. You should see my kids' toy box. Every single Happy Meal toy
That's
that
a
you can
fact.
think of, we have.
Yeah.
We have.
Our
all of
local McDonald's need to have WyOriginal boxes.
Yes,
Oh,
They
God.
need to have a
yes.
We
WyOriginal
dope.
box. You know, I see they're doing all this catering to the hip hop community.
Yeah.
And, Cardi B and
Cardi
Offset
B
got
and
their Offset
Offset
meal. You know what I mean? So let's get a WyOriginal meal.
Cardi
One of our
B got-
local McDonald's.
Cardi
you know
B
what I mean?
has the offset meal. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's pretty dope. though.
I think it's cool. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
amazing.
man. I think it's
Why
kind of
not?
cheesy. I think it's cheesy.
Listen, man.
Look,
What do rappers got to do with McDonald's meals?
Listen, man. I tell you what.
okay.
You know you like the apple pie. You know what I'm saying?
Couple things. First of all, you unwrap the burger. Let's talk about that.
All right, fair
First
enough.
of all.
Fair enough.
Second of all, I don't know if you've had the offset meal, but it is very cheesy. I get mine with extra cheese. And
well played. Well played.
I'm just saying. I think it's good, man. I think it's good.
I mean, shout out to them. No hate on Cardi B and Offset. I just because I
course
forgot
not.
who was it before that, like Nicki Minaj or
No,
somebody?
Travis Scott. The
Oh,
Travis
that's
Scott.
right.
Oh,
The
he's like,
Travis
come on.
Scott
Come on,
meal,
Travis Scott, you know what I mean?
the Scott, yeah.
Maybe I am a hater because I didn't hate that one. I didn't hate that as much. Maybe I am.
See
a
what I'm
hater,
saying?
I
So
think-
it's just
yeah.
like it's not for everybody, right?
It's not-
Maybe you and your lady don't want to date like that. You know what I mean? Like
Fair enough,
I thought
fair
it was
enough.
kind of fly though.
That's
Fair
it.
Kinda
That's
fly.
really funny.
What do we? All right, so let's go to a little bit of national news.
Yes.
We're all big sports fans. Dom, I don't think I know your sports teams. What's your football team?
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna get on a soapbox about this.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
Here we go.
My family is from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Okay? So
Shout out to New York.
So listen. I have been a Buffalo Bills fan.
That's huge. Okay.
Since since birth. So my dad used to take me to like see the Bills those years that they went to 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah.
Only team never do that. Only team never go to 4 Super Bowls in a row, and only team to ever lose 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Shout out to Jim Kelly.
That's it. But here's the thing: my
The
dad
only
used to take
team.
me to the training camp. So I
that's dope.
I got to when I was like 4 years old, I got to meet like Bruce Smith. I got to meet Don Beebe. I got to meet like these dudes.
Oh, wow.
You know, and see him practice. But here's the thing: Bills have always been my team, right? Always, always, always. Now, here's the thing. Growing up in Cheyenne, I used to get made fun of relentlessly for being a Bills fan.
And now look at him.
Yes, I'd be like, I'm a Bills fan.
Now.
Everyone would always be like, why? Then Josh Allen, Wyoming's quarterback,
Wyoming
goes to the Bills, and now you see all these Bills. You see Cowboy Joe riding the Buffalo Bill. I see all these people, and you think I'd be happy because the whole town's with my team, but I get triggered. I see somebody with a Buffalo Bills hat, and I'm like, where's your Fruity Flakes, bitch?
He's like flipping everybody off. He's flipping everybody off.
I'm like, show me your Fruity Flakes.
That is frustrating. I get
Where
frustrated
are you
with
at?
bandwagons. I
Shout
get
out to
frustrated with
Josh
bandwagons.
Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. He's a
look what
king.
he's doing,
No,
man.
and I'm just joking. I'm actually very happy to see my team. So that's my team. That's my team.
What
But
about basketball?
look, here's what I'll say. Being in LA, I became a massive Lakers fan.
All right. Anyway, Angel.
Yes.
Over to you, Angel.
Okay, so look, man, it's very clear. It's very clear. It's very clear over here who my teams are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very clear, because you know where I'm from.
He's New York all the way through
So
and through.
every team that I have has New York in front of it.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm getting
York
scrutinized.
Jets.
Well, I mean, no.
I'm just
Calm down. I mean, let me clarify that a little bit. I will go for my New York teams.
Yeah.
But my personal New York teams, New York Giants,
He's a Giants fan.
All right.
New York Yankees,
Yep.
Yeah.
New York Rangers,
Hey, all right.
New York Knicks.
Ah.
I've been scrutinized lately on the basketball tip
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because I'm from Brooklyn.
I was gonna
Absolutely.
say you're not a Nets
So,
guy.
but let's
Not a Nets fan.
let's get clear here.
They were from Jersey.
They were Jersey.
They were Jersey.
New Jersey.
They were
Yes.
Jersey.
Shout out to Jay-Z
Absolutely.
Yes.
for making a lot of things possible for
Right.
Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
But
And then
yeah,
shout
Brooklyn-
out to Kyrie Irving and
Kyrie
KD for
Irving.
ruining everything that Jay-Z created for Brooklyn.
But I mean, I'm a New York Knicks fan, man.
love
You know
it.
what I mean? When I was growing
yeah.
up, that's who we had. You know what I'm saying? So now that Brooklyn's in the equation, I can't wait for them to win a championship. Most definitely, so we can have the biggie moment.
You know
Brooklyn,
what I
we did it.
You know what I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
Knicks, and just so I'm from Texas, so Dallas Cowboys,
Okay.
Houston Rockets, Astros. But what I love about the Knicks
Mm-hmm.
is that they are the Dallas Cowboys of the East because they don't win shit, right? They
Yeah.
haven't won shit in years.
And I'm
Yeah.
still happy.
They're a big market, so you would think people, and every year there's a big free agent tied to them
Right.
that they don't get.
Right.
So
right.
they're literally the Dallas Cowboys of basketball.
So my favorite thing,
Jeez.
something that made me just laugh like so hard, right? Was I don't know if you guys caught that Disney movie Soul.
Oh, yeah, I
It's
love it.
so good, but there's that part where they say it's just this great moment where they're explaining the zone, and they're like,
right.
when you're in the zone, that's the in between this world and heaven.
Right.
You're in this meditative state, and you see all these people floating, and like you see this woman playing piano, and you see this ballerina, and then this guy's going to dunk a basketball, and she goes, "I love messing with this team. I've been doing it for
been doing
years."
it for
And she
years.
throws a rock, and it hits the guy, and the ball just goes doink, and it's the New York Knicks.
Here come the Knicks lose again.
No, you
Man.
know, listen. Here's what I'm gonna say about the Knicks, though. Is basketball's changed a lot because I became a fan when I was like 10, 12 years old.
Same.
And I'm talking like the Vince Carter era,
Yep.
out
Kobe
to them.
era, that kind of thing. But here's the thing, man. What the Knicks need is, first of all, they need Spike Lee back at all their games.
100%.
And they just need Latrell Sprewell to choke somebody every once in a while. If they had Latrell back to just be choking people if they
missing
messed
violence.
up.
That's what it is.
I
That's all
miss.
they missing.
I mean, shout out to them recently, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
seriously,
yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
we went almost
They
on a
might
10-game win
do-
streak.
That's true. That's
And,
true.
you know, I mean, things happen, but at the end of the day,
but Denver is going to be the other one.
Yes.
On the West.
Johnny got Denver coming out the West.
Denver coming out. Yes.
I don't
I
trust
got
anybody's name
the
I can't pronounce.
Knicks
So
being great till they finish in the playoffs.
Well, you know.
So
saying
first-
at least
first round.
playoffs. At least
You know-
playoffs.
you know what I-
because the young
they'll make
guys
it.
are running the league now.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you notice. Look at Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that
Yeah,
for a second.
okay.
King
Like
killing.
these young guys,
Yes.
I guess, are figuring out that the veterans are going to retire soon,
Yes. Yes.
and they're controlling the league.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Who would have thought Sacramento Kings is going to fight Denver for the number one?
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Nobody's
You
talking
know,
about
this
Sacramento
is, okay.
Kings.
I hope we don't get tight on this. This is what I want to talk about. White people.
Yeah, plug in.
That's the show, everyone. Good night. We'll
We
see you.
are not going to air ever again.
No, this is what I mean. Is look. Okay. So here's the thing. I was this massive basketball fan back in the days of, like I said, Vince Carter, Shaq, Kobe, that era, right?
Right.
And then I went away, and I've recently got back into it, and I've been loving it. And I swear to God, my first thought when I turned back on the NBA games is I was like, look at all of these white people.
is a lot,
And what
bro.
I mean
It
is like,
is.
but the thing is like, look, MVP, right? The past couple years has been, however you say his name.
Djokovic.
Right? And that dude's a beast. I love watching Luka
Amazing
Doncic.
player.
Yep.
Luka
Luka's a
Doncic,
beast.
he's so much fun to watch, right? And then the slam dunk contest, did y'all see?
Plug it in.
I mean,
Did y'all
Wrong.
see Mac? And this dude, okay,
Yeah, it was a
this dude, first of all, wasn't even a part of the NBA. He was signed to the NBA for like 2 weeks.
He's in the G League, I
It
think.
was in the G League.
Yeah.
Signed to the NBA for 2 weeks. This dude was on a $100,000 contract. Does the slam dunk competition, fucking crushes it.
Does.
And then gets $110,000. Dude got more for winning the slam dunk contest than he did
In his contract.
than his whole contract.
Pastor. Can I talk to you?
Pastor.
The street basketball back in them days.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You were talking about one day? Yeah. They would have been more than that than, Hill Chili. And he won NBA dunk test.
Did you say heel chili?
Hill Chili, they didn't know that.
I don't think anybody
I
knows
don't think I
that,
know
Johnny.
who heel chili is.
Listen,
I just plugged it in.
Listen, I wish we had. We'll be releasing the pilot episode for this, and the best part was Johnny talking. He was going on and on about this artist that drove him crazy, named Lil Windex.
Lil Windex. That's what
he was saying. Lil Windex was driving him
actually-
crazy, and what we found out is the whole time. He was
The Weeknd.
He was
The
talking
Weeknd.
about the weekend.
He was just trying to talk
But-
about the
He's
weekend.
Johnny-
like, let me
Johnny
tell
has
you
his
about
moment.
the Super Bowl show from Little Windex.
The little and we were all racking our brains trying to figure out who the hell
Who was
Windex
Lil
was.
Windex?
But we got the windshield wipers clean, and
Yeah.
we figured out it was the weekend.
It was the weekend.
The weekend.
So we got it.
So shout out to Johnny with his creative mind.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
we love it. We love it. But no, I'm just. Did y'all catch the slam dunk contest?
I did.
I
No,
thought
I
it
did.
was amazing. I mean,
that-
the dude deserved it.
Oh my gosh,
It
that
wasn't close.
final dunk he did.
I mean, what do we?
What was that? Like a 540?
I mean,
That was
Something like that.
insane. I got you.
I don't see why it would have been an argument.
No,
I mean, he left it clear on the court why he was the champion.
and it was one of those things. It was one of those things where I feel like we had such crappy like dunk contests. Other than like the Zach Levine one from a couple years ago, which
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade ruined. Shout out to Dwayne Wade. But no, this one was the best. But it wasn't competitive though.
Right.
And
right.
then-
I will agree with that.
And then a lot of people brought up the subject that, oh man, LeBron James ruined the dunk contest, which is
That's
LeBron
yeah.
James is now Barack Obama. They're gonna blame everything that's wrong with the NBA is gonna be LeBron
Well,
James'
yeah,
fault.
and
Thanks, LeBron.
also, it's like, listen, I'm a firm believer in this. You can only ruin something by doing it.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
their argument is he ruined it
'Cause he
by
didn't do
not
it.
doing
Right.
it. And
Shout
it's
out
like,
to LeBron James, man.
Seriously.
Continuously to
Right.
excellent greatness.
I
yes,
just
and a
don't-
Shout out to
Laker.
LeBron
I just
James.
don't. Oh my God.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't understand the idea. Like even it wasn't just it was just LeBron. It was a lot of. I think John Morant said something about the dunk contest and.
But who's
Now-
actually
Yeah.
trying
And that's my
to be
point.
in
Yes.
the contest?
And that's my point.
I know a lot of guys that should be in it.
John
Right.
Morant should have.
Well,
John
who's
Morant.
doing it?
I like if
Ja wins.
Ja,
He should.
like I just
I
want to
think Ja
see.
wins.
I want to see what Ja could do on a creative level.
Not in the
Because-
strip club.
Yeah,
Though. We saw.
Oh,
we
man.
saw that.
Wait. What? I'm out of the loop.
So God.
Oh, man.
So so my boy Ja, and and it's sad because my son's a huge Ja Morant fan. He loves
Yeah.
the NBA. He's a huge Ja Morant fan. He got the braids. He
Yeah.
got the jersey and all of that. But Ja Morant, he got into some trouble And I think it was like maybe a 13, 14-year-old kid. They say him as gang beat up this 14-year-old kid at the mall. So
really?
As he was getting investigated for that, he goes to the strip club after a game in Denver and flashes a gun on his IG.
Oh, no.
Some things, man, you just gotta really honor your position a little bit better. Honestly, I mean, I can't sit here and judge nobody or why people do certain things.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to put yourself in that position, but sometimes I think your surroundings, how you surround yourself. I mean, you're in a position of privilege.
Yes.
There's no reason.
You didn't work this hard
There's
to
no
make
reason.
a simple mistake, because I think this is really what it is.
I think so.
Right.
I
It's a
think
mistake, right? So how do you, man? You know what I
That's
mean?
it. Well,
you got kids looking up to you now, right?
look.
And it's not his fault that he got kids looking up to him. He's just great, right?
One of the
Simple mistakes, man.
One of the smartest things I ever heard was somebody saying, there's no training for becoming famous.
True.
You know what I mean? And I'm telling you what,
Right there.
right?
His father was right there.
Really?
His father was with him.
been,
his dad was with
But
him.
he
But
just
that brings us to
had
another
the
point.
other side of that.
Well, look, if your dad is at the strip club with you,
But more importantly than just that, right? More importantly than just that.
Seen this before more than one time in his life.
right?
This is my thing, though.
And
More than
that's his
just
fault.
the strip club, right? Let's just let's get back to the photo. Why was that important?
Right, even
See, that's what I'm saying,
strip
right?
club's not important.
The
Exactly.
attention, right? Why are we gonna get into attention? It's kind of like what Chris Rock was doing with what did he say? Selective outrage.
Selective outrage.
So shout out to
Yeah.
that too. Shout out to Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
But it's like now we're gonna have a selective outrage about this, right? About what he did wrong, and now he's gonna be looked at so
Right,
terribly. When
Yeah.
in all actuality, it's not. It's like, do we say it's all the way wrong?
Right.
But it's a huge mistake, right? Because
a
it's
huge
like,
mistake.
bro, like you're in a great position, man.
Yeah.
You should never be worried about having a gun on. You see Floyd Mayweather, my man got every security guard
Right.
around here. Ain't
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
touching
yeah,
me.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if you think about touching me, you got a real reason why you won't
Absolutely.
want to.
Right.
So I just think you got to surround yourself better and just make better decisions.
Here's the I guess the couple points that drive me crazy about John Morant. And I don't know how he was raised. I have no clue, nor do I care.
Right.
But regardless of what it is, you made it. You
Right.
made it.
Fact.
You
Yeah,
got a
it's a
$200
fact.
million contract, and I'm not money watching, but you got a
Yeah.
$200 million contract. You could do anything that you possibly want. He's a great kid. He's a great example. I have no problem with anyone going to the strip club,
Right.
It's a fact.
But then, so the gun that came into effect, so this is what happened. This is what it caused. One,
okay.
we're having this discussion.
Right.
So that means
Right.
national news is having this discussion.
Right.
Fact.
And now the NBA is having a discussion because they're like, you're in Denver. This wasn't a home game.
Right.
Where'd the gun come from? 50-game suspension if you brought a gun into a facility.
Yeah.
So even we're all Second Amendment. Everybody rights,
Yep.
but now you brought the spotlight to you for no reason, unnecessarily.
Well, let me ask you this straight up because I don't know the answer. How old's John Morant?
like 23,
Okay.
24?
All right. Look, listen to me. Listen, and I had this same argument with Justin Bieber back in the day. All right? Everybody was talking like Justin Bieber's going crazy. I'm like, Justin Bieber is 22. Like,
True,
if
exactly, right.
you would have had a camera on me at 22
Right.
years old, you would have seen a guy peeing in a lot of public places he shouldn't have been. You see a guy putting way too much stuff in his body that he shouldn't have been.
Right.
You seen a guy acting ridiculous. Like, you see the way I act now? This is calm.
Right.
This is 15 years of wisdom since 20 years old. You know what I mean?
And then add millions to that. in
Yeah,
your
it's
pocket,
like if you would have, at 22
Yeah, I
years old,
agree.
if you would have
Yeah.
given me fame, acclaim, millions and millions of dollars, and then all these. Are you kidding? I'm surprised he only did that.
No, I
we
mean,
know of. No.
seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
there is no book,
I'm
handbook to help. I mean, but that's why I just say you got to get back to like
yeah,
your corner.
Right.
right.
You got
Find
to
your good
prepare
people.
yourself
Yeah.
for all situations. Even if you want to have a great time like that,
Right.
You might need to shut the place
All-
down just for you and your crew.
That's what I'm saying.
See
All
what
I'm saying
you
is,
could do that.
Right.
like, to me, he flashed a gun at a strip club sounds tame because you give me that
Not a
money
big
at
deal,
22. It's like they were having a Caligula style orgy at like some mansion, and his dad was there. I'm just playing.
Nah, but I mean, whatever is going to happen at this point, I mean, I think he'll have more accountability to it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
all.
Now he's got
come
time
out
to
of
think
it.
about
Well, and speaking of NBA players with guns,
Oh, that's right.
Let's not go there.
Oh, that's
Wait,
right.
are we gonna
Kemp.
go back in the day? Supersonics?
Supersonic Sean Kemp.
Oh man.
Now look,
Come on.
I looked a lot into this.
Yeah.
Okay, because the second you texted over to me, I was like, I got to read about this. Now here's what happened. All right. First off, it was in a parking lot. Okay.
Was it a Walmart parking lot? 'Cause that seems to be where people shoot.
No,
I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
it was a parking lot of a mall. It was a parking lot of a
Okay,
mall.
that's a little
okay, okay. And what happened was there was an altercation between two gentlemen, and one gentleman pulled out a gun, started shooting. Right now, turns out that gentleman was Seattle Supersonics legend Sean Kemp.
Of course.
Okay. Now, first of all, the first thing that he claimed was that the whole thing was in self-defense.
Right, I did see that part. Yeah.
Okay? He said the whole thing was a matter of defense. Now, if you've ever watched Sean's game, you know he can't play defense for shit. All right. Next. Next. Luckily, nobody got hurt because he did fire off a couple shots, but they said it didn't hit anybody or anything like that. I looked it up. His field goal percentage was 48%. That means he only hits one out of every two shots anyway.
So that makes
Thank you. Also,
Oh man.
now listen.
Sean
I'm a
Kemp taking
fan.
shorties out.
Here we go.
I'm a fan of. Do you guys ever used to play Sega? Like
Absolutely.
NBA Jam?
Yeah,
NBA Jam was
yeah.
my favorite game. Every NBA
Absolutely.
Jam was my favorite. And here's what I have to say to that
He's
mall.
on fire.
You better be lucky that Sean Kemp was only shooting, because if he decided to do a backflip dunk, he would have set the whole place on fire. Thank you. Yes. Those are Dom's dad jokes.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Love it. Shout out to Sean Kemp.
Shout
though.
out to
If
Sean
it's-
Kemp, man.
if it's
Seattle
true-
Supersonic legend Sean
Yeah.
Kemp. Shout out
If
to
it's
Sean
true
Kemp.
that that's what it was, then
Yeah, it's, apparently that was the thing, is that the real story is he claims somebody actually stole a bunch
Right, so-
from
stole
him.
something
He had
from
gotten
him.
robbed, and then including his phone, and he
Right.
did like the track my iPhone,
And found
found where they were, got in the altercation, and then the guy
Got it.
drove off and he shot at him.
Took measures in his own hand.
That was the case.
And
That
I
was the
heard it got released, so maybe there's cameras everywhere now, so it got to be some truth to it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, just be more careful with your decision making.
We'll
I think
see.
that's what it's coming down
I
to.
mean,
man.
honestly,
decision making,
especially
man.
when you
Like,
get to that level of fame, you
Yeah.
know. And I know we said there's no blueprint of being famous, but there's a lot of examples though.
Yes.
There's a lot
A
of
whole lot
examples
of
you
Yes.
can follow.
Yes.
To show you how to act, and again, I've never been rich or famous, but there's a lot of people before you that could, that paved the way, as we say, that built the foundation for you,
Right.
Take some lessons. Take
I
some
feel
heed.
like you're in a privileged position, as I said earlier,
True.
and
True.
invest in yourself
You have
That's
to.
what I'm saying.
because you have the availability.
Right.
have to.
Right.
So you don't want to grow up that fast because you want to have the most fun.
And I get
But
it.
at the end of the day, how long do you want to last?
yeah, exactly.
But I feel like if you have millions, I can have the most debauchery in the world responsibly with no evidence. Just pay a little bit more money.
Right.
Throw some
Shout
money
out to
in,
Derek Jeter.
and there you go. Michael
Shout
Irvin.
out to Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
A lot of these old cats,
Yes.
they did it
Right.
big,
Jeez.
and I know that was before the social media.
That's
days,
true.
so-
That's true.
You gotta care about yourself better, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Lesson to the young kids: not everything got to be on social media. As we're making a podcast,
That's we're making a
social media.
podcast for
But-
social media.
But it's for you to be known and to be recognized and to be talked about and
That's-
to know what's going on at
in
all
a
times.
positive way,
Exactly.
hopefully,
Exactly.
in a positive
Exactly.
way. But
Exactly.
while we're on the NBA, who we got coming out? We got a lot of big moves. Kyrie's with Dallas.
Yeah.
You got KD with the Suns now,
Which is wild.
which is crazy. Which I think makes a very dominant team.
How
'Cause
many
everybody on
super
that team
teams
plays
has he
defense.
been on?
This will be his. Well, if you count Oklahoma City, this will be his third one. So
Because regardless if they say Chris Paul is washed up, which I don't believe he is.
I
know
mean,
what
he
I
is
mean?
like 57.
You know,
though.
you got a great,
Dude's old.
great team
Well,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And can you not get it done this time?
Well, and then as soon as he got traded, he got hurt. So got to set the
So
table
it's
for.
just, Man, listen, man. Shout out to the young boys running
Absolutely.
the league.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to watch basketball
Yeah.
because of you guys.
Is
You
KD
guys been
involved
putting
in
in
the
a
young-
maximum
is KD
effort.
young? Is he
Listen,
involved in the
listen.
young stuff?
Who?
Is KD in the young guys, or is he?
I
gotta-
mean, if
what is
you're
he?
saying that him and LeBron are arguably the number one and number two, but you got to put Giannis up there, bro. And everybody's like
Well, he's-
giving this
I think
guy no
Giannis is number
credit
one.
as much. And
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
Giannis
yeah.
is the new run the league.
He's
Yeah,
number
yeah.
one.
Without question, man. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not saying LeBron's old because he's
Yo.
convincing me that he probably can play 4 more years like Tom Brady didn't want to retire.
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Because these guys
yeah.
invest in themselves, take care of themselves. But at the end of the day, he has to fall under LeBron, right?
Right.
Because they're going to all be retiring around that same time, one
Right.
after the
Possibly,
other.
yeah.
Right.
That's why I say shout out to this new young league and this new young core of just representing basketball in such a fashion that
Right.
you want to watch it again. Like I
Now,
said,
but what do you think? Have you been listening to Charles Barkley?
Oh, Charles cracks me
Just
up.
talk so
Come
much
on,
shit about
man.
this young generation
Oh, he hates
because there's so many like rules and like they take a lot of breaks and they they're getting paid a
management.
whole lot. Yeah, but there's a lot of that and I laugh because you know what, like the first example of this for me was Steph Curry. Now, don't get me wrong. I think
Right.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter to ever play the game.
Point blank period.
I think the dude changed it. Like, everybody, because of him, needs somebody who can make a full court shot.
Absolutely.
Or you can't even compete. And that's the thing. But, like, back in the day, like, if you just go back and watch, like, the 89-90 Pistons Bulls game,
Yeah.
when
Oh,
like
man.
people like people would just like choke slam Michael Jordan and
Normal
Isaiah
foul.
Thomas.
Normal
Isaiah
foul.
Not even a
Thomas
flagrant.
is like they're like Goldberg style spearing Scottie Pippen like on the
Jordan said it himself. I got to get in the weight room.
Seriously.
he
Gotta get in the weight
15
room.
to 20
Yeah.
pounds of muscle just
not
for
going down low.
the Detroit Pistons.
Right,
I'm
but
gonna
now,
fly.
But now it's funny because I'll watch Steph Curry or any of those guys run around like, you can't touch me, you can't touch
Oh, my
me,
God.
you can't touch me. I'm like, I want to go back to a day when Hakeem Olajuwon would Spartan kick someone in
Seriously.
the chest.
No one is shooting. No one's going for a layup when you can
No
shoot a three.
layups.
Shout out
That's
to
it.
Steph
No
Curry.
mid-range.
That's right. That's
No
right.
Shout out to
mid-range.
Steph Curry.
That's
You
right.
know.
And the funniest part about Steph's shots is that they make no sense. If you watch some of Steph's shots, he'll just run up and it looks like he has some kind of like aneurysm
Right.
spasm. he'll like run and just be like, and then the ball
swish.
will go right
Swish.
in.
That's a
And then he
fact, man.
does his little dance, pops out his
Shimmy a little.
his mouth guard, like yeah. Like, how did you? Jeez,
I don't know.
it's like a magic trick. you know?
Honestly,
But see, he's not a young guy either, though.
No, he's
So-
he's up there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's in that same
He's-
category.
he's
He's in that same.
So that's why I
yeah,
say,
yeah.
regardless of what's being said, I mean, the game's being preserved, right? And I think
Oh,
in
yeah.
every sport is
There's
being
a lot
preserved.
Yes,
there's a lot of young. You got
Flag
Giannis.
football. Are we going to
yeah.
agree that we're going to be pulling flags one day? Because we
Oh.
can't hit people no more.
Now,
man.
see, yeah, I don't want.
See, so
yeah,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't want
I
to-
just
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
we are
yeah.
preserving the game, but I mean, these young guys, man, they're making it interesting.
No,
man.
absolutely.
They're making the teams that you didn't want to ever see,
Yeah.
or not that you didn't want to ever see. You don't ever see
Right,
relevant again.
You ever seen
Yes.
the Kings?
So
relevant?
we're not
The
speaking
Grizzlies?
about
right.
we're not
You know?
speaking about these guys enough, but
Yeah.
they're putting in the work.
Yeah.
They show up every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's why I need John Moran to stay out the strip club.
That's
Got to.
right, Jack. Come
Got to,
on.
bro. It's. I mean, the league. Give it 2 to 3 years, bro. It's yours.
It's
I mean,
yours.
honestly, it's in his
Yours to
hands.
have.
Oh yeah,
It's in his hands. You know.
that's right.
Speaking of young cats, move on to the NFL. They got my boy. Lamar Jackson out here assless for some reason. You know, just exposed himself to the NFL. They won't give him a contract. Then they decided to give him I forgot what it's called, some kind of undisclosed free agent tag, which means he can go shop himself out to the NFL, and the Ravens get to match whatever contract it is that someone offers if they choose, and if for some reason they don't want to match and that team takes him, they get 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks.
From that team, which is crazy, right? So it's almost one of those things that everybody's like, and then as soon as they do it, like 5 teams say, "Oh no, we're not interested." You know,
Right.
100% not interested, and everybody's like, "Oh, is he washed up?" Well, why would someone want to 100% say, "Hey, I'm gonna take your quarterback from you. I'm gonna pay him $200 million, and I'm gonna give you 2 first-round picks for it"?
Yeah.
They're not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Especially, and Lamar's made it very clear that he doesn't want to be there with the Ravens, which I hope it comes to the Cowboys. You know, but
Calm
you know.
down.
I just and I get it. I know we have a lot of ride or die Dak Prescott fans, and I used to be that, but after last year, I'm just wait. So are you still a Bills fan or are you a
Oh,
Broncos?
yeah.
You
No,
still
I'm
a
a big
Bills
time
fan?
Bills
Okay.
fan. Yeah, of
All right.
course. Now, I can actually like root for him and not have seasonal depression now.
That's
Are you
not bad.
kidding?
Yeah, I can't say that. I can.
Going on to Lamar, I just felt like, okay, so you get Carr, he's 150 up in the Saints.
Yeah,
Right?
150. Yeah,
You got
150 for the
Danny
Saints.
Downs 160 with the Giants.
Yep.
These are 4-year deals.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
But Lamar,
and I get, injuries,
Yeah.
and this is the maker of the team, the quarterback,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
But Deshaun Watson,
Deshaun Watson got $200 million. Fully,
he was still in the
guaranteed.
case. He was still in the case, wasn't he?
Still under.
You didn't know if he was going to play.
Didn't even know.
Right.
My man had a
fully
huge
guaranteed.
deal. I feel like if you pay this man, you still have a chance at the title.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
basically what I'm getting to. A quarterback is very much needed in our league.
That's yeah.
100%.
Somebody's still going to make a beneficial out of this.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
And I think the Ravens have the best opportunity to take advantage of this.
And we'll see. I just, I don't like the and the NBA got it easy. They whatever they ask for 9 times out of 10 they get, and then like we talked about the load management, then they just sit down and don't play.
Yep.
I
And
want,
just chill.
I want $200 million. I'm gonna sit 50 games.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I see you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
NFL's kind of not like that. And they don't have guaranteed contracts. Their bodies get beat up way more.
Way more.
I think the average NFL career is 5 years. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
That's it.
in all reality, if you're tackling,
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And so no matter what position, average NFL career, and I think maybe QB is a little more, like maybe 7 or something like that. But average NFL player lasts 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. So a 5-year contract, like Lamar Jackson's asking for, and some of these, we're pretty much saying that's my
Yeah.
career right there.
No,
So,
yeah. No, I hear you. I guess my mind is just I'm still kind of stuck on the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And the only reason is did y'all feel like the refs won that Super Bowl?
Oh,
Did anybody else feel like that? Did you feel like the refs
it
like
was the
that
most
the ref
important
deserved
calls,
MVP?
for sure. But I think that's what we're.
I think before we got to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
though, you know what I mean?
Well, it's like
Shout out to the referees.
the referees.
Shout out
I
to
mean, even that game. Now, look, listen. I'm not my boys are all Kansas City fans. They all love
Mr. Mahomes.
Mr. Mahomes. Now, listen. I love Patrick Mahomes too, and
That
here's
hurts.
why. No, I'm gonna tell you why. Listen, he's beaten my Bills 2
Yep.
years in a row, right? But listen. Here's why I like Mr. Mahomes is that he's shattering stereotypes that you can be the best quarterback in the league and still run like a 17-year-old girl. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
What a
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I thought he ran pretty good for being hurt.
No, he runs. But I'm just
ran
saying,
pretty good for being hurt.
the way that guy looks, like
Oh,
when he walks,
fair.
he looks like a 15-year-old
He does.
woman who just put on heels for the first time.
It's the
I'm
scary
like,
movie run. It's the white girl running through the woods run. That's
like
what it is.
this, like this. I'm like, how is he so good for a man with hips?
I don't know. Skills.
But no, I mean he's a beast. I'm not like
No,
no
absolutely.
questions asked.
that's only punching up. I'm just saying. He does not have the typical athletic
Oh my God.
build. You know what's the funniest part though? This is the funniest part of Super Bowl for me. Funniest part of Super Bowl for me, and I will splice in images of this. Everybody knew that dude was hurt. Everybody knew his ankle was hurt.
That's
he
why I
he
said he
went
was
off the
running.
field like this during halftime. Like he was aching. And then I don't know what drugs they put him on.
Seriously.
I don't know if they pumped him full of steroids and horse tranquilizers and LSD and PCP, but here was the best part. When they came back the second half, they kept cutting to him watching the defense, and he was like this.
It was out of there.
I will say this: when
Like,
he started
the
to
whole
run,
time.
I thought I was watching that movie. Like it's that last 10, 15 seconds
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
end
yeah.
of the movie.
Yes,
and here comes
yes,
the victory.
yes.
When he just was looking like the most phenomenal guy on the field. I was just
Seriously.
like, wait,
Stop him.
Seriously.
this guy was hurt in the AFC Championship.
We all knew he was hurt.
Seriously.
Couldn't
and he
stop
was
him.
hurt before that.
That's right.
And now he's running through to the
literally,
victory.
he had
I'm
like
telling
15,
you.
20-yard runs on that
I'm
ankle.
telling you.
So But, shout out to the way the game goes.
That was the best advertisement for medicinal marijuana.
Absolutely.
I could
We're
not.
looking at you, Wyoming.
Listen, go back. Go
Let's
back
go.
and look at Mahomes smile after the second half. Just this glossy-eyed, like.
Oh my God. No, I don't know. The NFL's such a different beast, and I feel like both the sports are going in a different way. All the sports, baseball, they finally got a pitch count. They finally got a pitch count, which is funny. They're so proud of themselves for knocking 15 minutes off of their game that's 4 hours long.
Let's move a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Little bit faster. So instead of being the bunny, let's still be the tortoise.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But a little bit faster toward us, But I mean, you got to try something. Shout out to them. I don't know how true this, but someone was saying that they've been doing this in like the Asian baseball leagues. They got theirs down to like an hour and a half. Like they've been they've been doing this for years, and they're looking at them. You know how America is. They look at America like, why are you not doing this yet?
Right.
And so American baseball, they finally started it, and they're so hype about it. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I was like, maybe I could watch some baseball again. And I'm like, how much time did they knock off? And it was like, oh, it's about 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
It's like, we're not there yet, guys.
Yeah,
we're not there yet, guys.
They're like, all right, we've done much deliberation. Now instead of 4 hours, it's 3 hours and 45 minutes. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And you know what's funny, though? The diehards don't even like it. Like
No.
the diehard baseball fans like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
What is this?
They're like, God damn it.
I mean, that's part of the game.
Right.
Unexpected, right?
Yeah.
It's the ninth inning.
Yes.
The pitcher's just as tired, even though he only has to do that one inning.
Yeah.
But he's got
It's
so
the
much
closer in the
tension.
ninth.
He's been
Although,
sweating so hard because he's been throwing his guts off.
Yes.
Literally warming up for 7
Warming
minutes.
up. And he looks like he pitched the whole game, but he's coming out for these last few, and now you want to rush him.
Look, the same way that I love, I became a Dodgers fan, right? And we had our dude.
a lot of
How
LA
many
pools in here,
times?
man.
How many times though? How many times did this dude almost have a perfect game or a no hitter?
A no-hitter.
And they pulled him.
Yeah.
Every time. And the funniest part was they talked to Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson, he's like the owner, and he goes like this. They were like, how'd you feel about that? And Johnson was like, listen, it was the right move. We have to pull him. We have to rest his arms. We have to do all that.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, now you're a player. He's like, nope, I wouldn't have left.
Don't
Nope.
pull me out. What's wrong with y'all?
Definitely not.
That's your moment.
No way.
The mentality
You
is so
worked
different.
so hard for those moments.
Well, and for it to happen once, I mean,
Right.
some people don't even get that in their whole career. For him to be doing a no hitter and then them going, all right, we need to pull you
Absolutely.
out. And then
Absolutely
he
not.
took it. He didn't want to, but he took it. And then for him to come back and do it again, and then for them to be like, all right, good job. Come on. They're like, listen, we got to cut these 15 minutes somehow. All right.
We gotta get the
Come on in. Come on out.
Off the top. You order Domino's, and you got 15 minutes to get home. By the time you get there, it's done.
I have nothing to say to that.
There we have it,
That's
yo.
amazing.
There we have
Nothing
it.
for that.
All right. What else we got on the docket, man?
Well, we could go to my favorite topic, and what's news to me,
Yes.
So I just bring in interesting things that I found interesting that may happen the weeks during the podcast. But so I have a few, and I kind of told the guys I wanted to talk about the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, which is absolutely one of the most interesting and historical things if you keep up with like finance and things like that. I mean, a lot of cards to blame. I don't want to sit there and sit on a political soapbox. But the best, and I want to explain it in like a kindergarten term.
Yeah,
so
simple terms.
Basically, everybody was standing in a building. Someone yelled fire.
Yeah.
There was no fire, but someone yelled fire.
There could be a
There
fire.
could have been a fire.
Maybe.
And then as everyone was running out the door, someone kicked the candle over and actually started a fire. That's kind of the sense of what happened with this. So long story short, Silicon Valley Bank is about 40 years old. And it's not like a big national bank. It's literally for venture capitalists and startups, people who want to start businesses in Silicon Valley. So like 30 to 40% of all of like the new startups, they get their money funded from that bank. Like, in the last 40 years, that's where they come from. So even though it's not a big bank, super, super popular, I think $217 billion worth of bank, money that they had. So long story short, there were some interest rates that hiked up in 2018, and they cut some red tape that allowed banks to kind of make bad decisions. And I say that loosely because if this would have played out right, it would have been fine for them. But so because of these stipulations, they were able to stretch themselves out very, very thin. They were allowed to give out a lot of money and a lot of their capital without actually having that money on hand, right? Which is it theoretically sounds bad for banks, not that dangerous. So they gave out all of this money to their friends, venture capitalists, and all kind of startups to start these companies. We're talking billions of dollars.
Right.
So because of this, they kind of I don't want to say defaulted on some loans, but they basically sold some losses. They were at a loss, which again, for a bank that big, it's fine. They're going to get it all back. No big deal. Interest from all of this money that we paid out. But they were very honest with their investors, and they put out their losses, and they told them, they said, hey, we're going to also sell some stocks to cover these losses, at a loss. And investors panicked.
Because the truth hurts.
Yeah.
They panicked. And all of their financial advisors told them, pull your money. Take your money and run. So all of these people that, SVB gave money to slowly started pulling their money. So a $217 billion bank was
down
almost $1 billion in the hole.
Down to nothing.
How many days was that?
It is. I think this started on Thursday. Today's Sunday. We're filming this on.
$1 billion.
We're filming this on Sunday. What's today? March the 12th. March the 12th. So this started on Thursday, and from Thursday to today, this bank is now non-existent. Like the FDIC owns it now. Like the federal government has came in and owns
Just
it now.
bought it.
Shout out to your friends not believing in
right?
you.
Like it's such a shitty situation because
Shout out to your friends, man.
and go ahead.
Look, all right. In psychology, they call this a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
Okay? And what that is when you're scared something's going to happen.
Yep.
So you freak out about it and essentially make it happen.
You caused the thing
You
that you
caused
were afraid of.
it
That's
to
a fact.
happen. You know what I mean?
The truth hurts.
And the thing is, but here's the question, and this is something that people don't talk about. But theoretically, how do banks get money? Technically speaking, they shouldn't have any.
True.
And what I mean is, a bank technically is the place you take your money to put your money in a savings, or savings or checking, and a bank is the place you hold your money. It's essentially a group safe. So how does a bank make money? Well, there's lots of different ways, but one of the ways is that they take the money they have, start doing investments, start giving out loans, start giving out credit cards, and then making all this money on the interest, and then they build all their money. Well, the thing was, it sounds like this bank was like, yeah, we'll do that. Like we'll do that, but it all hinges on me having all of your money in
support.
the bank to
In
make
that
that
order.
money grow.
Absolutely.
Right? And then they're like, oh, hey, we're kind of at a loss. It'll be fine. We'll get it back. And they're like, nope, pull it out. They're gone.
Losing.
What they should have done, this is capitalism 101. Lie.
Just lie.
Ask Bernie Madoff. You lie. Ask Enron. You lie.
They got away with it
now
for
why
years.
the truth hurts?
You
For
lie.
years.
Now.
You lie.
$1 billion in a few days because of the truth.
Who was the guy? They made the movie Wizard of Lies about him. De Niro played him in the movie.
Crud. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
But this dude, he became a billionaire by making stuff up.
Literally.
He was like, hey, will you give me $1 million? I got a great plan. And like, what's your plan? I'm like, it's great. They're
It's
like,
just a great
all
plan.
right, great. Here's $1 million.
Believe me.
He just did that. And made billions. Now listen. You can say, oh no, that's not going to work because at the end of the day, the government's just going to come and take all your money anyway. Well, that's what happened to this place too.
It happened anyway. It's so unfortunate because it didn't happen. Like I had to go look up. I was like, oh, smart. I'm gonna pull my money before it collapses. And then I looked up all these, financial leaders, and it was like, yeah, but it wasn't about to collapse.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
You made it collapse.
Yeah, you collapsed
You
yourself.
made it collapse.
Yeah. It's kind of like this table, right? It's held up by all these pieces of wood, and them saying, "Oh, there's a little bit of a creak right now," and everybody going, "All right, pull out the legs."
Now it broke.
Take out the
about
legs.
To fall.
Yeah.
Well, let's get it out of here then.
Yeah, everybody
And then
take
it's
your
gonna fall.
legs.
It's broke now.
Well-
nobody had a plan to fix it.
That didn't work.
No, so that's my little topic for today. I had a second one. which I thought was interesting. They put out an article, and so Harvard Business is like a big one that I follow on LinkedIn. Like I love reading their articles. I find them interesting, and they had a topic about they went back by 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and they were looking at how often friends got together. Right, like, and we're talking like under the age of I think it was 18 to 21, right? So 18 to 21 back in the day, like when we were kids, we ride bikes to each other's houses and and chill and hang out and play, Smash Brothers.
Can I ask you a question?
Go.
Yeah.
How many black people was in that bank?
Oh, we're going back to the bank.
So
Yeah,
how many
I'm
black
stuck.
people is I don't have those numbers. I don't know, but it's Silicon Valley, so maybe not a lot. I don't know. I don't know how many.
Either way,
I don't know.
it collapsed.
I don't know. It's
It
gone.
didn't collapse because of this person or that person.
No,
They collapsed themselves.
It was because of all of them. But
man.
anyway, so basically they were showing shocking numbers of basically like 50. It was like 80%, then it went down like to 50%, then 40, and now it's like 30% of young people like actually meet up to hang out with friends between the age of 18 and 21. And it was like, why it is that? And it was like, oh, social media this, social media that, social media this is, and it was like, or there's no fucking where I can hang out that doesn't cost money.
Yeah.
fact.
Or
Yeah.
and or like I said, we used to ride bikes to each other's house. No one wants to let their kids go like out hanging, with the way this world is now.
Yo,
Can't get
hang
them
on.
off the video game
Now, see,
now.
there's a couple things. The first, it's funny you say video games,
It could be.
because my kids, here's the hilarious thing. One of my sons is in his room right here, right? My other boy is right next door, okay? They're FaceTiming each other,
Oh, no.
playing the same video game.
Unnecessary.
Okay, and then
This reminds me of a movie.
And then
Reminds me of a movie.
And then they're FaceTiming their friends. So all their friends are hanging out, right? Like
Right.
in their own rooms. And that's the thing is that like it wasn't like when I was younger, it was like I want to go hang out with my
Right.
friends. I got to
Right.
go walk over there. Now they're like, all right, group FaceTime, and then I'm gonna and they're just all
Zoom.
playing. Yeah,
Right.
They're just all so that is their friend time. Like
Which
they're
is
hanging
true.
out.
Shout
with
out to
their
COVID-19, man.
Right,
COVID killed
right.
a lot of that,
Inside, don't
Right.
go nowhere. Don't worry about getting all these germs in your immunity system to actually help you.
right.
Get your defenses
Well, that's
up.
the
Let me
thing.
just keep you
That's
in the
thing.
house.
And I gotta kind of get on a soapbox about this.
Go.
Because look, I think that it is an illusion that the world is worse than it was when we were kids. I think that's an illusion.
Go on.
Whenever I hear anybody, and I hear this all the time, I hear people say, "Oh man, the world's going to hell. The world's so immoral. The world's so whatever." And this is my response. I say, give me an example of
Right.
one time that it wasn't.
True.
Give
That's
me
a good point.
give me
That's a good point.
give me any example. Like you can go throughout any point in time. Like
Yep.
we're in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We have every year during Frontier Days, we celebrate the fact that we used to shoot people in the street.
It's true.
Like
Lynch.
we have the gunslinger, and would you shoot him over? Like I don't like how you play poker. Bam, dead.
Right.
That was
I mean, you got a
just the
strong point.
norm. Compared to that, we are living in the best, safest
This is
time. Medicine's never been better. We can't get things fast enough. People are living longer. But here's my thing, and I am getting on soapbox about this.
No, go.
I think that the news specifically
Yeah.
has created I think the news has created this false reality. And here's what I mean. Crime in America since 9/11 has been on this steady decline.
That's fact.
You know what I mean? Like back in the day, I mean, look, I moved to Los Angeles, I talked about, right? And I remember I was like, I'm going to avoid anywhere Dr. Dre sings about because I was scared. But then it's like now you go to like Inglewood. That's where they have the forum. Like I saw John Mayer and Maroon 5
In Inglewood.
In Inglewood, I think I'm fine. They're
pretty hood, though, so.
Yeah, Sublime had that song like "Left My Wallet in El Segundo." Right now, and they were like, I can't. The whole premise of that song was I cannot go back to El Segundo.
Right.
because it's too dangerous. I'm just gonna leave my wallet
Right.
there. Now it's like I left my wallet in El Segundo. Hopefully it's not being babysat by moms in yoga pants. Like
It was returned to me
yeah,
safely.
Exactly. Like this is, but the thing is this is the actual world, right?
Right.
This is the actual world. But since 9/11, the news has realized that they can be they can compete with mainstream media with the like they can compete in ratings,
Right.
And they do that by
Fear.
showcasing terror,
Yep.
awful things, terrible stuff, right? And they put that
Absolutely.
on the news, and that's all you see. So every time you turn on the news, it creates the illusion of, oh my gosh, another horrible thing. Oh my gosh, another this, that. Like, and my eyes are open to it because, like, my mother-in-law, for instance, she'll call and go, oh my gosh, did you hear about that baby in Florida that was eaten by an alligator?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, that's terrible for one family. That's awful. Did you hear about the 349 million people who got up,
Right.
kissed their kids, had a good day, went to school, came home, enjoyed their life?
Absolutely.
No, but
Absolutely.
that's what's happening.
They're gonna highlight
You see
whatever.
what I'm saying?
Well, and you know, and it's funny. It's funny. So I always stand on, and I agree with that because I always stand on the point that the world has always been exactly how it is. Now it's just we can all see what everyone's going through.
Right.
We're allowed to.
Florida has always been Florida.
Yes.
California's already been California, so on and so on and so on. And we just didn't care because we didn't know.
Right.
But now we know every single time something bad happens in America, in a city, in a county, we know
in
every
one
single time.
person's house.
Yeah,
In
every
one
single
person's house. You see crazy stuff like man went crazy and set his house on fire and ate his dog, and you're like, I hope I don't eat my dog. You know, like it's like you think it's happening right around the corner.
Right.
Like, look, I'm gonna get real. I'm gonna get real. And forgive me because I don't want to discredit tragedies. Like
Right.
whenever there's like a mass shooting, that's a tragedy. And it's heartbreaking, it's devastating.
No, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen a lot. If your family's one of the ones that are in it, there's no consoling. It's a devastating tragedy. It's terrible.
Yeah.
However, right? There's something like 45 million gun deaths a year. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
2/3 of them are suicide.
Yeah.
Okay? 2/3 of them. So that means we have a bigger mental health problem in America than we do a
Agreed.
violence problem.
Absolutely.
Now, to put it in perspective, 50 million people die of the flu. Which means if you want to be like statistic, you should be more worried about that cough and that sniffle that
True.
you have
Well, see, now you
than getting shot in the street.
True. Absolutely.
But my point is that we're so scared. Like my girlfriend's hilarious. She's always like, you left the door unlocked all day. And I'm like, I know, and we got raided, and we got all these people, and you know,
And nothing
there was
happened.
all this. Or we said hi to our neighbor and walked the dog. Is that my favorite part? The reason I got on this, man, is my dad. This is his big thing. All my dad likes to talk about now that he's retired is his blood pressure and how the world's going to shit. That's all my dad talks about. That's all my
Blood
dad talks
pressure in my
about.
world
Blood
going to
pressure in the world going to shit. And the funny thing is, I'm not making this up. Where he's talking to me and he's going to, you know, the whole world's going to hell and everything's going backwards, and I don't know how you're raising kids in this awful environment. Nah. Meanwhile, we're on a golf course on a sunny day. Your wife is getting a manicure with
we
your
seem
daughters.
fine.
You know, and we're like literally like sipping like lattes, like
Right,
nom, nom, nom.
right,
The
right.
world's so terrible. Nom, 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 nom. Everything's awful. You know what I mean?
So, news and social media.
That's what I'm saying. It creates this false reality.
Right. We know too much. That's what it is. We have
That's
too
it.
much information. We know too much.
We're
That's
all
it.
available to say what we want, just like we on WyOriginal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Being
Yes.
informative and hopefully like now what we get to do, instead of just create a responsible rumor or a
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
We get to be informative for our state, even covering and talking about what's going on in our world. We're WyOriginal, and we get to change this now. We get to change the
right.
reason why we
Absolutely.
speak better. We are more encouraging. We care about each other, and more importantly, we are a community. And the quicker we understand that, we don't have to worry about what we don't need to be concerned with. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
So at the end of the day, man, I'm just glad to be here with you guys.
Same.
Yes.
And
Same.
WyOriginal has the real recipe. So if you
John-
want to stir the pot with us, throw an
Johnny got a
ingredient in
comment.
it too.
That's right.
we all taste this great recipe together.
There you go. What you got, Johnny?
Let me ask you a question. When most people have been shot or so shooting other people, they ain't been fucking in the last 3 years, and they shoot everybody. Honestly, they are giving some pussy to these motherfuckers, and they stop shooting these motherfuckers.
So
man.
Johnny's blaming it on sex.
Listen,
Hopefully consensual.
Johnny, no, he's saying that's the cure. No, Johnny,
Have you looked
let
at
me
half these motherfuckers?
listen, listen. If I'm interpreting you correctly, are you saying all we need is just a little more love?
Little bit more love. There you go, man. And honestly, you should spread love.
All love,
Should
all
spread
love.
love.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know any other way to wrap it up than that, man.
Y'all
That's
got anything
it.
else, fellas?
I think shout out to WyOriginal. Shout out to meeting these great guys.
Absolutely.
All being great creators. Thankful to be a part of this with this great set. And thank you guys
Yes.
for
100%.
continuing to make us better,
Yes.
us greater, and our whole situation
That's right.
available.
And this is just the beginning. This is just the
Just the
beginning.
starting.
We're going to be showcasing not only what's going on in Wyoming, talking about what's going on in the world, highlighting all this great creativity that's happening, all of the stuff you might not have seen. We're happy to give a platform to that.
Absolutely.
And also, we will accept phone calls.
Yes.
We will be available.
We will set
We're
that
gonna
up.
be
to
we're gonna
hearing
be
you
putting
live
up
on
the
the set.
number so we can
Yep.
we can hear you live if you want to do live phone calls. That's gonna be amazing.
Yep.
And the biggest thing that I realize is while 18 to 22-year-olds don't hang out anymore.
There you go. They all sit
What you have to do if you're in your 30s or above is you have to make a podcast.
You have to make a podcast.
and you have to plan it.
This is our midlife
You
crisis.
have to plan it at 7 a.m. in the morning because your wives and kids are asleep.
That's right.
And that's the only time we're allowed to leave the house.
That's it.
And
we have ankle monitors on so they know where we are.
Exactly, they're buzzing off.
They're
Where
buzzing
are you?
right
Where
now.
are
Actually,
you?
hold
Where are
on,
you?
my call's coming in.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Well, thank you guys. Shout out to WyOriginal. Shout out to Jarrod, Dominic, Syracuse. My guy Johnny
yep.
Campbell.
Johnny!
Shout out to me, Angel Maldonado.
Angel.
Thank you for taking the time to listen, review, check it out. Matter of fact, leave some reviews.
there you go. And thank you. And that is it for the one and only WyOriginal
WyOriginal.
podcast. Thank you. Not bad, fellas.
Not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad.
I think that was good. Bro.
Not bad.